Welcome to a brand new episode of That New Toy Smell. I'm your host Mitch Live, and I collect action figures. And today, we're having a look at Batman from the animated series by McFarlane Toys. So this is Batman from Batman the Animated Series, which was a Warner Brothers cartoon that aired in the 90s, and he's part of the DC Multiverse toy line. The box stands about 11 inches tall. It's your standard DC Multiverse box, featuring the full clear plastic viewing window in the front, and the clear plastic top to allow for ultimate illumination. On the side, also some clear plastic letting in the light. It's got the DC Multiverse logo, the McFarlane's toy logo, and it says Batman. And on the reverse side, no plastic, but it says Batman and the animated series. On the back, tells you up here that each of one of these figures comes with a collectible trading card, and the image featured on the back of this box is the same image featured on that card. I just know from experience because I've opened a couple of these, and on the side it tells you the source material, which is, of course, we know, the animated series. Just below that, it tells you some other figures that are available from the DC Multiverse line, including classic Harley Quinn. They call her classic Harley Quinn. That character actually started in the animated series, but the artwork on the box is all about the comic book, which you can see in one of our later episodes. So make sure to subscribe and follow us, and check out our Harley Quinn episode coming up. Beside her, you can see live-action Harley Quinn from the film Birds of Prey, Batman from Detective Comics number 1000, Unchained Armor Superman, and then we've got finally Nightwing from the comic series Better Than Batman, which we all know he's not. And of course, you got your DC, your Warner Brothers, and your McFarlane logos across the bottom. And that's the box. Time to crack in and get that new toy smell. Here he is out of his box. I'm going to try to just see if I can get him to stand on his own. There is absolutely no way that that is going to happen. He is way too top heavy, and it's because, of course, he is this reverse pyramid shape. Now, honestly, I preferred the earlier Batman style in the animated series, when his shoulders seem to get wider and wider as in the later animation, and I'm not really a fan of this. Like, what did he skip leg day for like the last 3 decades? And you can see his legs falling out from underneath him. They are very flimsy. I'm actually concerned about him even standing on his stand. He's got one really wonky ankle here. He does have 22 points of articulation, so he's supposed to be very posable. And there is a lot of resistance to his joints, which is going to help him hold those arm poses. Sorry, that's resistance in his arms. There is 0 resistance in his hips here and his legs. His ankles are also very flimsy. His knees seem to be locked, which is good, because that's the only hope I have that he's going to stand up even on his stand. Let's see if we can get him on his stand. Now, it's got a nub, and I don't know if you could tell, it's got that DC logo in the stand, so obviously that's supposed to be facing forward. So they want the peg to go in the leg here, which is being wonky. So I don't know. Push it in. At least, as you can see, he does stand with his stand. But how tall does he stand, I hear you ask? He is... Let's see here. He stands, including his pointy ears, 7.5 inches. As for the articulation, his arms are very stiff, and they seem to stay wherever you want to put them, and the cape limits the mobility of the shoulders a little bit, but other than that, his wrists and his elbows and everything, they all seem to move and do whatever you want them to do. But his legs are very questionable. He's going to be one of those, once you get him standing, you don't want to mess around with him too much. The overall quality is pretty good. It's not the most impressive figure from the DC Multiverse line, which is usually pretty high quality. So this, I would not say, is one of their higher quality figures, but there's nothing wrong with it. Likeness of the character, again, it's the very, very V-shaped shoulders. makes him look more like even like later Justice League animated Batman. I am a big fan of the Kenner Batman toy line, which we did an entire collection review of, which you can check out on our channel. So that's the style of Batman that I prefer. But yeah, this guy's pretty cool. This Batman comes with a pair of alternate hands, which are meant to hold his tools, and the tools that he comes with is the classic grappling hook and batarang. And he comes with his collectible card, shows the same photo featured on the back of the box, and it's going to be his little data file. Overall conclusion, obviously very reminiscent of the animated series, which is one of my favorite depictions of Batman, so he does tickle me in all the warm nostalgia ways. Not so much a fan of the wide shoulders. The accessories are pretty cool, but not at the same level of detail as other figures from the DC Multiverse line. So definitely not one of their best figures, but pretty good figure nonetheless. And that brings us to the end of another episode of That New Toy Smell. As always, we will have links in the description where you can purchase your own Batman from Batman the Animated Series by McFarlane Toys. Make sure to subscribe and keep checking back for more full-length collection reviews, more DC Multiverse unboxing, and so much more. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Toy Shelf, and remember, you're never too old to play with toys.